the way that can be fully spoken, is not the everlasting way. The name that can be neatly given is not the everlasting name. Before names, before words, before the world was divided into this and that, there was the hidden reality. But once we begin to name things, the 10,000 things come walking out into the light. Tree and river, sorrow and joy, mother and child, bread on the table, dust on the road, a face at the window, a star in the dark. When the heart is quiet and wanting nothing, it sees into the mystery. When the heart is hungry and grasping, it sees only the outer shapes of things. Yet the mystery and the visible world are not two enemies. They rise from the same deep well. That well is darkness, not the darkness of evil, but the darkness of a room before dawn, the darkness of a womb, the darkness of a seed beneath the earth, darkness within darkness, the door through which all understanding enters. When people point to one thing and say, "This is beautiful," another thing is made ugly by comparison. When people point to one thing and say, "This is good," another thing is made bad. So it is that being and non-being lean upon each other. Hard and easy make each other known. Long and short measure each other. High and low bow toward each other. Before and after walk in the same procession. For this reason, the wise person acts without forcing and teaches without making a speech of it. Things come, and she lets them come. Things go, and she lets them go. She has what she has, but does not clutch it. She does her work, but does not stand over it demanding praise. And when the work is finished, she steps away from it, because she does not try to make it last. It lasts. When a people make too much of famous men, the ordinary man begins to feel small. When a people make too much of precious things, the thief begins to wake in the alley. So the wise ruler does not fill the streets with envy, hunger, and display. He quiets restless minds and strengthens the deep center. He softens ambition, but hardens endurance. He helps people lay down the false wisdom they parade and the needless wants that drag them about, like chains behind a cart. And those who are certain they know everything are gently bewildered until their certainty begins to crack. Do not force the world into order. Practice the art of not forcing, and order will begin to rise, like grass after rain. The way is like an old well at the edge of a village. Draw from it all your life, and still it is not emptied. It is like a great open space, seemingly bare, yet holding every possibility that ever took breath. It is hidden, and yet it is always here. I do not know what hand first brought it forth. It is older than the oldest god men ever dared to name. The way does not choose sides. It gives life to the saint and to the sinner. It lets the rose bloom and the thorn harden. The wise person does not choose sides. She makes room for the clean and the broken, the honored and the ashamed. The way is like a bellows, empty in itself, yet endlessly useful. The more it moves, the more it gives. But the more we talk and talk about it, the farther we drift from understanding. Hold to the center. Stand where the wheel turns quietly. The way is called the Great Mother. She is empty, yet never exhausted. From her come worlds beyond counting, as sparks rise from a hidden fire. She is not far away. She is not locked in heaven. She is present within you, nearer than breath, quieter than thought. Draw from her as you need. She does not run dry. The way is endless. The way is everlasting. Why everlasting? Because it was never born, and so it cannot die. Why endless? Because it wants nothing for itself, and so it is present for all things. The wise person steps back, and therefore finds herself ahead. She does not cling to herself, and therefore belongs to everything, because she has let go of the little self that demands, defends, and advertises. She becomes whole. The highest good is like water. Water gives life to everything and does not ask to be admired. It flows to the low places, the places people avoid, the ditches, hollows, and hidden ground. In this way, it is close to the way. When you live, stay close to the earth. When you think, keep to what is simple. When you argue, be fair and generous. When you lead, do not choke life with control. When you work, do the work that is truly yours. When you are with your family, be fully there, as if the whole world had gathered in that one room. Be content to be plainly yourself. Do not compare. Do not compete. Then people will feel your weight without your needing to throw it around. Fill a cup past the brim, and it spills on the table. Sharpen a blade without end, and you ruin the edge. Chase money and safety, as if they can save you, and your heart will live clenched like a fist. Live for the approval of others, and you will wear their opinion, like iron around your neck. Do your work, do it cleanly, do it fully, then step back. This is the road to peace. Can you call your wandering mind home and keep it gathered in the original oneness? Can you let your body soften until it is supple as a newborn child? Can you wash the windows of your inner sight until only light remains? Can you love people and lead them without bending them to your will? Can you handle the matters that matter most without forcing every door open with your shoulder? Can you step back from your own thoughts and by doing so, understand the life moving through all things, to give birth and nourish, to hold without owning, to act without demanding reward, to lead without gripping the reins? This is the highest virtue. "30 spokes meet in the hub of a wheel, but it is the empty space at the center that lets the wagon roll. Clay is shaped into a bowl, but it is the hollow inside that holds the soup, the grain, the water. Wood is cut and fitted into a house, but it is the space within the walls that lets a family live there. We work with what is solid, but it is often the empty place that gives the solid thing its use. Too many colors blind the eye. Too many sounds dull the ear. Too many flavors tire the tongue. Too many thoughts wear down the mind. Too many desires dry up the heart. The wise person looks upon the world, but trusts the quiet sight within. He lets things arrive. He lets things depart. His heart remains open, wide as the sky, over a road at morning. Success can shake a man as much as failure. Hope can haunt him as much as fear. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you climb the ladder or fall from it, you are still measuring your life by a shaky thing. But when both feet stand on the earth, you can keep your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both ghosts, born from too much thinking about the self. When the self is no longer treated as a little kingdom to defend, what remains to be afraid of? See the world as yourself. Trust the way things are unfolding. Love the world as yourself, and you will know how to care for all things. Look for it, and it cannot be seen. Listen for it, and it cannot be heard. Reach for it, and it cannot be held. Above, it is not shining. Below, it is not dark. It has no seam, no handle, no name that captures it. It returns again and again to the country of nothing. It is the form beneath all forms, the image behind every image, subtle beyond the reach of cleverness. Walk toward it, and you find no beginning. Walk after it, and you find no end. You cannot trap it in knowledge, but you can live from it. You can be at ease inside your own life. Remember where you come from. That remembrance is wisdom. The ancient masters were deep and subtle. Their wisdom could not be sounded. Since we cannot describe the depth itself, we can only describe the way they seemed. They were cautious, like a man stepping across a frozen stream and listening for the crack. They were alert, like a soldier walking through enemy ground. They were courteous, like a guest at another man's table. They were yielding, like ice beginning to melt. They were plain and uncarved, like a block of wood before the craftsman's knife. They were receptive, like a valley that does not refuse the rain. They were clear, like water after the mud has settled. Do you have the patience to wait until your own mud sinks and the water clears? Can you remain still until the right action rises by itself? The wise person does not hunt after fulfillment. Because she does not hunt, she does not grow frantic. Because she does not expect, she is present. And because she is present, she can welcome all things. Empty your mind of its noise. Let your heart come to rest. Watch the whole world rush, bloom, struggle, and then return. Every separate thing in the universe comes home at last to the common source. To return to the source is serenity, not knowing the source. We stumble through confusion and sorrow. Knowing where we come from, we naturally become spacious, tolerant, light-hearted, kind as a grandmother, dignified as a king. Immersed in the wonder of the way, you can meet whatever life brings, and when death comes to the door, you are not a stranger to it. The best ruler is barely noticed. The people live their lives and hardly know he is there. Next best is the ruler they love. Then the one they fear. Worst of all is the one they despise. If you do not trust the people, you teach them not to be trustworthy. The wise ruler does not drown the land in speeches. He acts. He does the necessary thing and does not make a parade of it. And when the work is finished, the people look around in wonder and say, "Look what we have done ourselves." When the great way is forgotten, people begin to make a great noise about goodness and duty. When the body's natural intelligence declines, cleverness and schemes step forward, wearing fine clothes. When peace disappears from the family, people begin preaching loyalty and obedience. When a country falls into disorder, patriotism is suddenly shouted from every corner. The deepest virtue does not advertise itself. Only when the river runs dry do men begin arguing about water.